Let's go.
Bluetooth connected.
They have software. We have software like that. मैं मारने वाला तो मुझे लगा भट्ट साहब मैं मारने वाला क्यों मारने आगे मारे वही तो कह रहा हूँ मुझे लगा भट्ट साहब
So guys, good morning from Katy Westfield. We are here at the final day of the Houston Premier League for Eliminator 3 between UMMC Knight Riders and USA Gladiators. Gladiators won the toss. Sudesh opted to bat first, and they lost the two wickets of Sushil and Madhu, but they're cruising along the partnership between Gaurav and Prayag. Nicely driven. Majid Rizvi runs in. Can he keep it down to 1? Yeah, looks like President has been out last night. A tiny mishap where he dropped the catch and now down on his knees. But I think the game is in the balance with the big wicket of Sushil. But Prayag is someone who can turn this game around. So, Imani bhai, you've just arrived. What do you make of this fixture so far?
Yeah, good morning everyone. I think this partnership is very crucial for Gladiators to post a healthy total. Both Prayag and Gaurav Bajaj are very capable and they are cruising along nicely. The score is about 394 and 11 overs in the book. So 9 overs, they can certainly reach 180, 190 if this partnership goes on till 14, 15 overs. They've got some hitters waiting. They have 8 wickets in hand. And the big blow this morning for Gladiators, Jaskaran Malhotra was ruled out because of the injury he suffered yesterday. The loser of this game is done for the tournament, and the winner will go ahead and meet the Houston Stars in the final to be played right after this game. So, youngster in the attack, Majid Zubair off, and Saad Humayun comes in, a very good left-arm spinner. Starts off with a short delivery, but Prayag couldn't do much with it, just taps it back to the bowler. So 9 overs, certainly Gladiators can score 90 to 100 runs, and if they score 200, they might send something special with the bowlers like Saurabh, Gaurav, and other bowlers available to them. Quickly drives to long on, where Majid Zubair fields for a single. Saad is a very good left-arm spinner. He mixes his deliveries. He bowls a quicker, flat one. He bowls a very slow, deceiving, flighted delivery. So again, this is a good delivery. Got the inside part of the bat towards square leg, where Sunny Sohal scampers there. The batsman crossed for a single.
Yeah, and Saad is one of the exciting young talents to come out of Austin. The likes of Majid Zubair, Owais Mubarak, Araf, and Saad being one of those exciting youngsters. A top-notch fielder. I've seen him field at the Legacy Cup, the 2-day test match which Punch organized, and he looked apart on the field, and he's a very tidy left-arm orthodox. Bowls wicket to wicket, keeps it tight, and I think if he finds his rhythm, he'll give solid 4 overs to Usman here.
Both these batsmen keen on rotating the strike, getting the scoreboard ticking. They're trying to save wickets for the big hitters to come in the last 4 or 5 overs and take the charge. And if they get to 130, 140 here with 4 overs remaining, they can certainly target 200 total. And that's the end of a very tidy over from Saad. No boundaries in this over, and that's the end of the 12th over.
चंडीगढ़ तो आई नहीं तेनू देख के होके भरदे ने खड़े चौंका विच सिपाही नहीं ठोडी ते काला दिल कुड़ीए ठोडी ते काला दिल कुड़ीए जो धागे चन दे टुकड़े ते तेनू काला चचमा तेनू काला चचमा तेनू काला चचमा जचदा ए कोरे मुखड़े ते तेनू काला चचमा जचदा ए कोरे मुखड़े ते
Bowling change here, Sridhar taken off and Naveen Stewart back into the attack. So this could be a very good move for Knight Riders. If he can break through this partnership, and it's flicked off his toes, and that's the boundary. Nice flick from Prayag Bhatti, and Naveen Stewart bowling full on his legs, clipped towards mid-wicket.
And Himani bhai, the good thing about this partnership, in my opinion, has been the way they've come in together and they've got on with the work right away. Nice and full. He cuts it behind point, and Sunny Sohal has to do the work. He dives and makes a good save. They'll come back for 2. So coming back to the point of this partnership, they lost the crucial wicket of Sushil in the 7th over, if I'm correct. And as soon as these two got together, they hit 3 boundaries in the next over, 3 in the one after that, and 2 in the one after that. So they've definitely kept the scoreboard ticking. And not just ticking, they've been going at the notch of 12 and over. Nicely driven again. Saad comes in and he misfields. And will they come back for second? That's very good work. So, just like we were saying, Saad happens to be a very swift fielder. He moves very quickly in the field. But at times you cannot afford to take your eyes off the ball at the very last moment. That's what happened there, and that cost the Knight Riders an extra run.
That's good running between the wickets. Last 3 deliveries, 3 doubles. Both these batsmen showing sense of urgency here. A boundary first ball and then 3 doubles. So it's good over so far for US Gladiators. 10 runs already off this over. Gladiators are 113 for 2. This is the 13 over in progress. Again short, and this will be another couple here as the fielder in the deep from fine leg air off had to run back, and Naveen wants the fielder to stay there a little bit more square. He was a bit fine, and Naveen is bowling a little short of length, which Prayag is getting enough time. He seems to be out of breath after taking 4 doubles. Good over so far for Gladiators.
Nicely driven down the ground. Sridhar has to do the cleanup, and he keeps it down to 1. So, before this ball, we heard Captain Sudesh yell from the dugout, "We got 12 in this over, just rotate the strike." And I think that's really the plan as we go into the drinks break now. Now let's look at the toss from this morning between Sudesh and Usman Rafiq.
Good morning, guys. We are live from Katy Westfield for Eliminator number 3 of the Houston Premier League. We are here with the 2 captains, Sudesh from Gladiators and Usman Rafiq from Knight Riders. The match officials are Sadiq Khoja and Owen Brown. Who's spinning the coin?
Gladiators.
Okay, so Usman, that's your call.
Tails. As it is. We'll bat first.
Okay, Sudesh, you're batting first. I think first thing we need to find out is we received the news last night about the severity of the injury to Jaskaran. So is he potentially out of both the fixtures today?
Surely out of the first fixture, but second fixture we'll just see how things happen. So, but yeah, he's out of the first fixture. We've made one more change. Instead of Neeraj Dheer, we have Rizwan Rajani coming in and Charit coming in for the injured Jaskaran.
And the outside players are the same?
Yeah, outside players are still the same. Prayag Bhatti, Gaurav Bajaj and Saurabh Netravalkar.
Right.
Back live now. Saad continues, cut by Prayag to sweeper, cover. Bonner is there. In fact, that's Naveen Stewart. Bonner is the wicketkeeper today. So obviously no team money, Tariq in the team. We'll come back to the rest of that toss to get the views from Captain Usman Rafiq during the next over break. And Gaurav steps down, works it to deep square leg. Looks like Waldo is doing the cleanup over there. Jawad Khalid in the audience on that fence over there. News of Waleed moving to Smart Choice this season. And Prayag steps down, beautifully driven. Araf is going to do the running and he slips but manages to recover and keep it down to 2. Good work by the youngster there. And that's the half century for Prayag. So he's been a solid link in this batting lineup and stepping up in the absence of just Karan Malhotra. He does really good to notch up a 50 here. Himani bhai, what do you make of Prayag, his contribution to the Knight Riders?
Oh, he's been a great help for Knight Riders, overseas player. He scored 100. He's been very consistent with both the bat and the ball, and this was hit in the air, one bounce just short of air off at long off. He's been a very consistent performer. He's got a good head on his shoulder. He doesn't take unnecessary risks. He paces his innings very well. Good running between the wickets. Very good all-rounder. Bowls his leg spinners. So overall a very fine cricketer for USA Gladiators. And that's driven. Will that go to the boundary? Naveen Stewart, and he dives and wasn't able to stop the ball. So that's a 4. A good shot by Gaurav Bajaj, was short and wide, and Gaurav just rocks bat and cuts it towards extra cover. Naveen was more towards square point, and that is gone for a boundary. And words of advice from Usman Rafiq right after the delivery that about the lines that Saad is bowling here. A good first over. This over he's been on the shorter side and the batsman taking advantage. And Saad gathers himself and gets ready for the next delivery. Ball's getting wet with the dew, so they're using the towel to dry the ball as Saad is getting ready to deliver. Comes down the track, wanted to hit him over long on, couldn't get hold of it. And a bit of misfielding there by Waleed, but single.
Waleed, after all his years of cricket on this particular field, still going for that money shot, single-handed pickup and missing. He's had one go right through his legs, and I think that's going to hurt the claws of the Knight Riders, because this partnership is looking super solid, and they've built that platform for the likes of guys in the dugout to come in and totally launch themselves. They've got some hitters in the likes of Rizwan and Srini and Siddhesh, who can really turn it around in the last 4 to 5 overs. So, talking of youngsters, another promising young talent from the city of Austin comes into the attack. That's Araf. And mind you, although we had limitation on the outside players from different cities who were going to come in, on the under-19 players, there was no such limitation. So players from Austin, Dallas are all part of the Houston Cricket League, and every single roster includes 3 such players in the playing 11. So that's been pretty good for the Houston Premier League this year. Words of advice from Captain Usman. They obviously want to keep it tight in the final few overs. This is the stage of the innings where the game can really slip out of your grasp.
Araf coming back into the attack. Gaurav Bajaj. That's a good delivery, good first delivery, attacking the stumps. And Gladiators 126 for 2, last 6 overs coming up. Can they reach 180, 190? And that's par score on Katy West.
Shout out to our volunteers in the backdrop there. You can see Ahmed Butt and under 19 youngsters Hamza and Shaheed from the Smart Choice National Cricket Academy. And this time Waleed makes a clean collection rather. And going back to our volunteers, shout out to our sponsors, Advanced LED Lights and Proud Hookah Lounge. Very crafty effort by Ahmed Butt in the backdrop with the hammer. We know he's been sponsored by Hammer Cricket for quite some time, but doesn't look very skilled with the hammer when it comes to digging the pole in. And a play and a miss, but a bad bounce for keeper Bonner, so batsmen go through for a bye. Good work by Sridhar at deep fine leg.
Iraf having a good over so far, just the 3 singles and a wide. Gladiators 130 for 2. Good partnership here. Again a good delivery. Prayag was in 2 minds whether to cut this ball or just drive it straight, but got a big bottom edge straight to the keeper. So just the 4 runs in this over, so no boundaries. And this is the 15th over, so another 5 more overs after this. Again, that's a good delivery, and that's a bye. Slipped through Bonner's legs. It was kept low, and Bonner wasn't able to hold that ball. Slipped through his legs for a 4, and that's a bye. So 4 extras, much needed boundary for US Gladiators. And at the end of this over, 134 for 2 after 15. They're still short, I believe, on Katy West. 180, 190 is par score, so they need to score big in the last 5 overs to get to 180, 190. as Saad continues. Last 5 overs. They've got 8 wickets in hand. They definitely need to take charge from this point on if they have to get to 180, 190. They can certainly score 50, 60 runs to get to that, but boundaries need to come every over now. Last 5 overs coming up. And Saad will continue to bowl to Gaurav Bajaj. These two have been out there for the last 5, 6 overs, so they are well set. They can take charge. That's short and drove it straight to long off, and Naveen Stewart gets to the ball just for a single. So we need 135 in 15 overs, last 5 overs. What kind of total should they be looking at, Katy West?
Almost slog sweep, and Waleed does the fielding, keeps it down to 1. So in the last 5 overs, I think the Knight Riders would come off pretty happy after restricting them to anything under 180. I think they'll be happy to chase anything under 180. But if they can push, the Gladiators can push the accelerator and take it in the range of 200, which is going to be a daunting task though. I think they'll come off pretty happy feeling about that. Comes down the track and Saad couldn't stop it, so it goes too long off for a single. But I think the Gladiators have done a very decent job knowing that Jaskaran was out injured. Players like Madhu and Bajaj and Prayag, they've all stepped up, and he slog sweeps it again, goes over the head of Sunny Sohal at mid-wicket, and Waleed Ahmed is not having the best of days. Another misfield from him. That's, I think if I recollect, that's the 3rd boundary he has conceded in that region. Correction, the umpire did not signal a 4 because it's the fielder's call, and Waleed said that it did not cross the fence. Beautifully dabbed by Prayag. Cheeky little flick towards the open fine leg region, and it goes for 4 more. So Gladiators really stepping on the gas here. So Imani bhai, with the recent approach, you think that 180 is now on the cards?
Yeah, 180 is definitely in sight, as they still have 8 wickets in hand and they are 143 for 2. With 4 overs to go, they can certainly take charge and take risks and not worry about losing wickets. This is exactly what these two were playing for, and they've achieved their target where they kept wickets in hand, and now they can just move on to the next part of their strategy, is to start taking some risks. As good work in the deep by Waleed, and that's the end of the 16th over as the score moves on to 144 for 2. So 4 overs, they can certainly score 40, 50 runs, and that'll get them to 185, 190.
Yeah, so 144 and 16 overs. I think you have to concede they can easily go at 12 and over from here. So that gives them close to 50 runs, and that takes them almost within striking distance of 200, and they would be very happy with that, I can tell you that. They've got the likes of Saurabh Netravalkar, who's going to come in with the new ball, and if he can strike and get one of those big outside player wickets, Gladiators would be right in this game. Araf is going to continue, and Prayag Bhatti will be on strike. He has done the bulk of scoring in this partnership. Gaurav Bajaj has got to about 20. Prayag is batting on 6, if I'm correct, in the range of 60. We'll get the live scores pretty soon updated on the broadcast. In comes Araf to Prayag.
Again, Iraq's ball is keeping very low. Even in the first over, there were a lot of hits and misses, and they got a boundary on 4 buys, so his ball is keeping really low and not getting the height that Prayag Bhatti is expecting when pitched short. So maybe cross seam deliveries. But dot ball helps the Knight Riders as Araf continues. And that's short. Hit towards the deep point cover area where Waleed collects the ball just for a single. And they need to hit boundaries every over if they want to get to 185, 190. They got 8 wickets in hand and just 3.4 overs to go.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see that Araf has had some balls keep really low on the second bounce to the keeper. And diving Usman won't get to it, neither would Majid Rizvi. In fact, he gets to the ball but receives a bad bounce. It hits his knee and goes over the fence for 4 more. So these two are really stepping on the gas. And coming back to the point of the bad bounces that keeper Bonner has received, and there was one that went for 4 buys, there was one that went to fine leg for 1 more buy. So I wonder if it would be a good idea for him to step up to the stumps. Araf is and a wonderful delivery, cleans him up right in the block hole. So what I was going to say before the last ball was Araf looks to be a very skiddy bowler, has a very sidearm slingy action, and that's what he does there. Gets a lot of late in-dip into Gaurav Bajaj, and that cleans him up. So big wicket there. Let's see who the next batsman is gonna be. Looks like it's skipper Sidhesh coming out with about 3.5 overs to go. Imani Bhai, does that bend their chances of striking 200?
No, I think they're still in a very good position. That's exactly what the platform that these two guys were building, to get to 140, 150 with 4 overs remaining, and then let the remaining batsmen cut loose on the bowlers. And they've got the platform set. It's now job remaining for the batsmen to come in. Sidhesh being the first one. They are at 149 for 3. Good delivery there by Araf. Again, he's bowling with seems like cross seam grip, and the balls are keeping low. This one just nipped back in just a little, and Gaurav was trying to hit him over deep mid wicket, missed the line and shatters the stumps. So Sidhesh comes in. 3 more overs after this and 149. So 200 will be a challenging target, but 185, 190 is in sight. They've got 1 over left. Naveen Stewart, I suspect that Araf is going to go ahead and complete his 4 overs. This is his 2nd over. So he'll bowl 2 and Naveen will bowl 1. So Sidhesh coming in to face And that's 150 up for US Gladiators. This is the 17th over, 150, 3 more overs to go and 7 wickets in hand. Gladiators looking to post 180, 190 runs. And that's a par score at Katy West. Araf having a good spell here. And Prayag Bhatti, the man in form. That's a good drive, and Majid has a bit of running to do towards long off. Gets to the delivery. Batsman takes 2. And that's the end of the 17th over. Gladiators 152 for 3 after 17. 152 for 3. Saad will continue the bowling. Sidesh, the man on strike. Last 3 overs coming up. 152 for 3. If you're watching this broadcast live on the Houston Premier League YouTube channel, please go ahead and leave your feedback so we can work on improving our broadcast and everything else related to it. As Saad comes in, Sidesh cuts that ball towards point. Sridhar in the deep. Single. Goes down the track, hits him, tries to hit him over deep mid-wicket. Waleed there. They want to take 2, and good throw there by Waleed, and Saad wasn't able to hold that ball. The return throw was on target, and Sidesh had to dive. Good running between the wickets. Again, giving himself some room, was trying to just hit it over cover, wasn't able to connect, just takes the edge, goes towards short third man where Araf does the work. So good over here. This is the 18th over and no boundary so far. Saad mixing his deliveries really well. He's leaving it short wide. He's bowling the flat foot one. The Sidesh faces him. Again, this is a shorter delivery. Sidesh was not able to connect, so a dot ball. So Saad having a very good over here and a very good spell. Again, this is short and Sidesh drives it towards long off and they run across for a single. So Saad not giving away anything, and this is very good for Knight Riders, and he's bowling a very good over, and this is what the Knight Riders need. And Gladiators trying their best to hit a boundary, haven't been able to do anything with it. As Saad comes in, Prayag goes down the track but drives it straight to long on, and Majid Zubair was quick to get to the ball and just a single. So that's a great over by Saad Humayun. Just the 6 runs of this over, so 158 in 18 overs. So it seems like 185 is getting a bit more challenging here, as Gladiators not having any luck with hitting the boundaries. And Araf will continue. 158, 2 more overs to go. Prayag Bhatti was trying to improvise on that first ball. Erav was trying to paddle it but didn't succeed, and the field adjustment immediately taking place. There's a short fine leg, so they need to hit a few boundaries here. Again, Prayag Bhatti was trying to pull it, and a bit of misfielding there by Majid Zubair, and ends up with another run, so that's 2 runs. Score moves on to 160. This is the 19th over, so a good bowling display by Knight Riders, especially the 2 youngsters, Saad and Eraf. They're bowling really well. They're not giving away any room to the batsmen, and they need some hitters. The Gladiators need to have some big hits as Eraf runs in, and again Prayag wasn't able to do anything. It goes straight to long on. A good run by Sridhar to stop that ball, and batsman runs for 2. 162 for 3. Still no boundaries in the last 3 overs. And Prayag's been out there for a while. He's running out of energy. Every time he takes 2 runs, he has to take a breather as Eraf comes in. It's clipped off his toes. Will that go for a boundary? No. Fielder back in the deep, and again bit of misfielding by Naveen Stewart, and then allows the batsman to run for 2. So misfieldings in the deep, and the batsman taking full advantage of that. That's hit in the air, but will go 1 bounce to Sridhar, and they will go for 2 runs. Will that be a run out? Appeal, and not out, says umpire Sadiq, and Siddesh was quick on his feet, so good over here, no boundaries, but 4 doubles and a dot ball, so 8 runs so far in this over. 166 for 3. This is the last ball coming up, and then 1 more over to go, so 7 more balls in Gladiators innings. 166 for 3 as Eraf continues. Again, this is driven to long off, it goes to Majid, and they again run for 2nd, and not a good throw there by Majid. The idea was right. He was trying to throw it on the batting end where the more tired runner Prayag Bhatti was running, but not a good throw, and the batsman home for 2, and Prayag is really out of breath here. And that's 10 runs courtesy of 5 doubles for Gladiators. Scores moves on to 168 for 3, and this is the last over coming up. 168 for 3. Naveen Stewart will be bowling the last over, so 168. start to this last over. Naveen just targeting in the block hole, and nothing Siddesh can do, just hits it towards point for a single. 169 for 3 as Naveen comes in. That's short, but slaps it towards long off where Sunny Sohal is coming in, and batsman in going for 2, and not a really good throw there by Sunny Sohal, and they cross for 2. And again Prayag Bhatti is running out of breath, not been able to hit big shots boundaries, and every 2 runs they take, Prayag is on his knees and he's having a hard time there. Score moves on to 171. This time he wants to hit it up in the air, and that's taken by Majid Zubair at long on. So end of a very fine inning from Prayag Bhatti. He's going back into the pavilion, and the batsman cross, so Siddesh will take strike. 3 more deliveries to go. 171 for 4. Is that enough? It's certainly not the target they were hoping to get. The way the Gaurav and Prayag was playing, they were targeting 190 to 200, but extremely good bowling by Saad, Humayun and Iraf, and not allowing the batsman to hit any boundaries. So 171, it's a good score, but it's not a par score here at Katy West. And Gladiators, if they have to win this game, they'll have to bowl really well and get crucial wickets. And here's Naveen coming in. Again tries to paddle this, misses it, and even the keeper misses it. And that's a good result, and that's even a wide. So good result for Gladiators. 4 wides. And the score moves on to 176. 176 for 4, and extra delivery for Gladiators. So 3 more balls to go. 176 for 4. So last 3 balls, 176 for 4. It's Naveen Stewart getting ready to bowl to Siddesh. Slower delivery, and that's gone. Deceived Siddesh, and the middle stump uprooted. Very good deceiving slower ball by Naveen Stewart. Siddesh back in the pavilion. 5th wicket down for Gladiators. 176 on the board. 2 more balls to go here. Okay, Naveen comes in and that's another bye, and the wicketkeeper wasn't able to collect the ball cleanly when both batsmen crossed. So 177 for 5. It's the last ball coming up, and Srini will face that. First ball he's facing, and the last ball of the innings. 177 for 5. Again, they kept low, and the wicketkeeper again wasn't able to hit the stumps, and that also resulted in a bye. So not too many runs with the bat in the last 3-4 overs, a lot of extras, and Gladiators end their innings at 178. Certainly they will be disappointed with this total because they were looking set for 190, 200. The way Prayag Bhatti and Gaurav Bajaj were playing, and then when Gaurav got out, they weren't able to accelerate. Prayag wasn't able to hit the big shots. Very disciplined bowling by both Saad, Eraf, Naveen Stewart. So 178, not a par score, but a fighting total. And they will have to bowl really well and maybe take some crucial wickets. If they can get Bonner, Majid out early, they may feel like they're in with a chance. Do they have the bowling attack to defend this title? They have got Haris Latif, Saurabh Netravalkar, Gaurav Bajaj. We'll be continuing with the broadcast after the short break.
Bluetooth connected.
ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕੱਟ ਕਟਵਾ ਲਏ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਪੈਂਟਾਂ ਜੀਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਹਰ ਵੇਲੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੀ ਏ ਬਸ ਤੂੰ ਫਿਲਮਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੀਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਏ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਏ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਹਾਲ ਸੁਣਾਵਾਂ ਟੁਕੜੇ ਤੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕਾਲਾ ਚਸ਼ਮਾ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕਾਲਾ ਚਸ਼ਮਾ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕਾਲਾ ਚਸ਼ਮਾ ਜੱਚਦਾ ਏ ਗੋਰੇ ਮੁਖੜੇ ਤੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕਾਲਾ ਚਸ਼ਮਾ ਜੱਚਦਾ ਏ ਗੋਰੇ ਮੁਖੜੇ ਤੇ
मेरे पिया जिसे आज मैंने ब्रेकअप कर लिया कुछ दिन तो रोना धोना बम कर किया और फिर डिलीट उसका नंबर किया। आंसू जो सूखे सीधा पार्लर गई, पार्लर में जाके शैम्पू जम कर किया। कॉलेज की सहेलियों से कैचअप कर लिया, अरे कॉलेज की सहेलियों से कैचअप कर लिया। जिनको मिलना पाई उनको व्हाट्सएप कर दिया। मेरे सैया जिसे आज मैंने ब्रेकअप कर लिया, सुबह सवेरे उठ के मैंने ये सब कर लिया। मेरे सैया जिसे आज मैंने ब्रेकअप कर लिया।
Look, baby, मुझे लगता है जो भी तूने किया है वो वेरी वेरी राइट है। भूतकाल को भूल जा, अब तू आने वाला फ्यूचर वेरी वेरी ब्राइट है। मुन्ना बेबी साथ तेरे पार्टी शादी होनी पूरी नाइट है। माइंड न करना जो थोड़ा ज्यादा बोल दो, क्योंकि बंदा वेरी वेरी टाइट है। उसे फोन मिला और गाली दे, फोटो जला के कर दे राख। साले तेरी माँ की गलती हुआ जो सही स्टूपिड तेरा, जीवित हुआ है फिर से क्यों कुछ तेरा। आसी रिलेशनशिप का लेबल हटा, दुनिया को तू है अवेलेबल बता। मेरे सोए अरमानों को वेकअप कर दिया, अरे मेरे सोए अरमानों को वेकअप कर दिया। तो तेरे सैया जी से तूने ब्रेकअप कर लिया। तेरे सैया जी से काहे तूने, ओ तेरे सैया जी से काहे तूने ब्रेकअप कर लिया। तेरे सैया जी से काहे तूने ब्रेकअप कर लिया। रात बराती कंधा कोठे टप टप के जाना, तू सोफा समझे लगिया धूल निभाना। रात बराती कंधा कोठे टप टप के जाना, और रात बराती कंधा कोठे टप टप के जाना। तू सोखा समझे लगिया तोड़ निभाना, तू सोखा समझे लगिया तोड़ निभाना। आशिक दिल की टशन पुरानी, कहते ज्ञानी इश्क से आपा आग जवानी। चली गई तो फिर नहीं आनी, कुड़ी बेगानी रहने दे जीना सीधा साधा।
मैं बनी तेरी राधा, मैंने सखियों से अखियों में रखना है तुझको पिया थोड़ा ज्यादा ज्यादा। मैं बनी तेरी राधा, तूने सपनों तड़पनों में रखना है मुझको पिया थोड़ा ज्यादा ज्यादा। मैं बनी तेरी राधा।
मुझे चौबारे में जाने के सजून में भी कोहरा पड़े ओ बड़े। ओढ़ी ली जार भाई बे युद्ध पानीपत का लड़े।
We're ready to get started with the Night Riders innings. The young Majid Zubair taking strike and Sunny Sohal, the opening pair of UMMC Night Riders. And 178 is not really a par score here at Katy West. This ground is known to be a high scoring ground where scores like 200, even 220. If people who remember HPL won the final of that tournament, 220 runs were chased by the Texans and against Gladiators. So here, Saurabh Netravalkar to Majid Zubair. That's a good delivery, rising outside the off stump. Majid was trying to cut, misses the ball. Good start by Saurabh. If they can contain the flow of runs in the first 6 overs, the power play, they might see a chance to restrict and defend the total, but these two batsmen, they just need to play sensible cricket here. 178 runs is not a difficult task. Again, good delivery, moving away from the batsman who was trying to cut, but wasn't able to connect. So 2 dot balls to start. Good line from Saurabh. They will be searching for the bowler who's gonna bowl from the other end. They've had Sushil, they've had Haris, they've had Jaskar, they've all bowled, and let's see what Siddesh decides. And this time taps it towards point where Sushil is the fielder. So good start by Gladiators here, and Majid likes to get on with his innings. He hits his shots early. He likes to play as an opener, likes to play in the power play. And this time again, like I was saying, Majid comes down the track and Saurabh Netravalkar just drops it short and sails over his bat. Again, good delivery. Majid lets it through to the keeper. Was looking for a wide call, but umpire Sadiq was not interested. So are we potentially seeing the first maiden over coming up? And that's the kind of bowling that Gladiators need if they have to win this game.
In comes Saurabh. And Majid shuffles this time, some fancy footwork, but doesn't really get to the ball and manages to just splice it too long on, but at least he gets a single. So I think the way the Night Riders would be approaching this is they're not chasing a very steep total. So they wouldn't mind a couple of silent overs if it comes at the cost of their top order batsmen getting themselves in. And that's exactly what they're expecting of Majid and Sunny. If these two can get in, and then with the likes of Bonner and Osman Rafiq and Majid Rizvi himself, Waleed Ahmad, Abdul Rahim, they have a top-notch batting order. They're packed with good quality batsmen. And I think the order of the day is to keep those wickets in hand, because we think if they manage to bat the 20 overs, they should get to that total. Himani bhai, your thoughts?
Yeah, these two batsmen, they just need to keep their calm and composure, because it's not a difficult total here, and they can just keep the wickets in hand. They can certainly get to this target. Haris Latif coming in to bowl, and a good start. Trying to pull that ball, but didn't get hold of it. Straight to the fielder at square leg.
So I think that's a very good move that they are opening with one of their strike bowlers. They've gone on the defensive in the last couple of games, trying to open the bowling with the likes of Jaskaran and Sushil Bhai sometimes, trying to come and bowl those tidy overs. But Haris is a wicket-taking option. And Majid makes room, manages to only glide it to Prayag Bharti, who does good work at backward point. In comes Haris Latif. Again, a very full delivery, swinging away. And Majid Zubair just gets a feel of the ball, but misses it completely. And good keeping by Karthik. So, a good session of pressure from the Gladiators, and that's all they will have to do.
Both these bowlers, Saurabh and Haris Latif, sticking to the plan. They're bowling short of length outside the off stump. They've got a deep point and a third man, so not giving anything away. And that's a misfielding, and it was straight to the mid-on fielder through his legs for a boundary. And that's not what Gladiators are looking for. This is bonus runs here. Both these bowlers, Saurabh and Haris, bowled an extremely good line and length.
Yeah, and we realized the stream might have dropped off momentarily because of some connectivity issues, but we are back live now. Majid Zubair on strike, and he glides it to third man, and the fielder slips down there, but still manages to recover and keep it down to 1. So it's been a steady start. The Knight Riders haven't really gone off to a flyer, and the Gladiators have managed to bowl a few tight overs, a couple of boundaries here and there, but it still hangs in the balance. Not anyone's game, and any team that steps up is wanting to take the risk might have the early initiative here. And wonderful fielding by, is that Sushil himself, a diving effort at backward point, almost jaunty-esque, stops it from going for a 4, and he keeps it down to just 1 run. So that brings Saurabh's over number 2 to an end. So that's 4 overs gone.
Haris Latif continues 11 for no loss in 3 overs. Very good start, good bowling by both Haris and Saurabh. Again, good delivery there. Haris Latif. Majid was trying to cut. Didn't succeed. They've taken the deep point off, left the third man in the deep, and the other player in the deep has gone on to mid-wicket. So, not sure why they've changed the strategy, but I think both those bowlers were bowling a perfect line and were not giving anything away. Again, that's edged, and that's gone for a 4. It just hit the glove. The diving Karthik Ganesh couldn't get hold the ball, just hit the fingertips, the keeping gloves, and still managed to go all the way to the boundary. So that's 4 runs. Again, not in command of that shot. Majid Zubair edged it. Fine. No chance for third man in the 4. So 15 without loss. Knight Riders. This is the 4th over of the innings, so if they can get a wicket here, then certainly would put a lot of pressure on Knight Riders. Again, this is a good delivery, and Majid was trying to flick it, but hit his thigh pad, I believe, and went to short fine leg where Madhu did the fielding. So very tight, very disciplined bowling by both Haris and Saurabh. The boundaries so far have come one by virtue of a misfielding, and then one an edge that was kind of a half a chance that wicketkeeper didn't get to it. And this time he hits it straight to mid-off for a single. (16) without lost. Knight Riders Haris come in to bowl to Sunny Sohal. And that's a good take by the wicketkeeper, straying down the leg side, and Karthik Ganesh dove to his left and collected that ball, called a wide. Again, that's cut straight to point. The fielder was there, deep point. They changed the field for Sunny Sohal, and that's the end of a very, still one more ball to go. 18 without loss. Knight Riders, this is the 4th over in progress. Again, Majid was trying to improvise, shuffle all the way across to the off stump. He's trying to hit a paddle shot, didn't connect, and that's the end of another good over. Good first 4 overs for US Gladiators. 18 without loss after 4, and Saurabh's been taken off after two overs. Bowled really well, and then there's a discussion going on who needs to come in, and I believe it's going to be Prayag Bhatti. So 2 more overs to go in power play, and this is the kind of bowling that Gladiators need if they want to go on and win this match and meet Houston Stars in the final to be played after this game. field adjustments in play, and the new bowler is Charat, not Prayag Gupti, but this is hit over covers for 4 and length delivery in the power play, no fielder in the deep, and easy pickings for Sunny Sohal. Just hits it over the top for a boundary, and haven't seen much of his bowling in this tournament from US Gladiators. Munir.
Yeah, we haven't seen him much, but he has come in for just Karan in this game. And the other change Gladiators have made is Neeraj Dhir makes way for Rizwan Rajani, who happens to be a pretty skiddy customer, bowls good line and length. So they've obviously added some medium pacers in their ranks today. Sunny Sohal is going to be a big wicket because the way he has batted for the Knight Riders, he seems to want to get himself in and wants to bat through the innings. And players like Majid Zubair and Bonner have played the big shots around him. Some fancy footwork from Sunny, shuffling in his crease as the bowler was running him. But Charat sticks to his plan, bowls a good line and length, tucks Sunny up, who didn't find much room to glide that ball behind point where Sushil and it seems Prayag Bhatti are fielding. And beautifully driven, that was an over-pitch ball right in the slot for Sunny Sohal. Those are easy pickings, and the scorecard is ticking along just fine for the Knight Riders. And interesting from Sunny. Again, slightly short. Sunny rocks back onto the back foot and punches it to cover where Madhu does the fielding. So if you notice the last ball, Sunny was standing way outside his leg stump. And as the bowler gets into his delivery stride, he shuffles his back foot and then lines up with the stumps. So making the bowler think, it seems, he wants to expose his stumps. Oh, full and straight, and Majid Zubair with a wild swing. He's not happy with himself. Agony there for Majid because that was almost a half volley and he could have placed it anywhere he liked on the open offside field. Again, full, almost a half volley, and the kid is really not happy with himself. He punches the pitch. He has struggled to find his touch so far, but we all know he's a talented youngster, and a senior like Sunny Sohal has to talk to him now to make him focus himself again and reboot and restart, because he has been playing really well for the Knight Riders. So, Imani, any concerns in the Knight Riders camp? You think because of the fact that although they haven't lost a wicket, but they really haven't taken off, the Gladiators bowlers have kept them in check?
Yeah, the Gladiators bowling has been very disciplined. Last over, Charat conceded 2 boundaries, 2 poor deliveries, and that kind of bowling takes the pressure off, and Knight Riders They've got a good batting squad. 178 is certainly doable at Katy West. But Knight Riders slowly coasting towards the target, and if Gladiators need to win, they also have to take wickets as well. Containing runs and take wickets, because if they're not able to take wickets, then the batsmen will come and Usman, Majid, Rizvi, Bonner, Naveen Stewart, they can hit some big ones. So 27 without loss, and this is the last over of the power play. 2 good overs by Saurabh, and this is the 3rd over from Haris Latif. Last over of the power play, and I suspect the spinners will come on like Gaurav Bajaj and Prayag Bhatti, and this is edged, and that's gone fine, and Srini was wide in the 3rd man area, and ball was traveling really fast, and no chance for Srini in the deep, and that's gone for a boundary.
Yeah, the onus would be on the senior partner, Sunny Sohal, to keep the scoreboard ticking. Because we all know Majid Zubair is a very free-flowing stroke maker, but he has seemed to have lost touch in the past couple of games. He labored his way to a 24, I think, in the last game in the evening against Smashers, with a strike rate of somewhere in the 70s, and he's on 14 of 22 balls right now. Sunny is the more fluent of the 2 batsmen, so he'll have to step up. Beautifully driven by Sunny, that's into the gap. The fielder at mid-off is giving it a chase, and he does very well to pull it back inside, but the fielders, while they retrieve it, it's still going to be 3 runs for the Knight Riders. Good work there by Sushil Nadkarni, the senior partner, who chased the ball all the way with the youngster and managed to throw it back. So Majid Zubair is back on strike now. This would be the test of temperament and patience of the youngster. He looked frustrated in the last over. Can he refocus? Really tapping his bat hard. And again, he just wants to drop and run. He wants to rotate the strike. And you can feel those worthy instructions from the senior partner. But mate, don't get yourself stuck on one end. Even if you're not middling it, just rotate the strike. Get those easy singles going. In comes Haris to Majid Zubair. Last over of the batting power play. And again, he's just moving too much on the crease, throwing his arms at the ball, not really middling it. So this is a real test of temperament and nerves for the youngster. And Sunny, being the senior partner, will have to keep talking to the youngster. They need to get the scoreboard ticking over. They cannot let the required rate climb in towards 10 runs per over. Wonderful delivery by Haris Latif, but it's been signaled a wide by the umpire, Owen Brown. And Haris has his heads on his head. He doesn't agree of that decision, obviously. It looked pretty close, but the line belongs to the umpire. So Haris will have to re-bowl it. Smiles from Owen Brown. Sunny Sohal on strike. Slightly short, and it really takes off the pitch. Karthik collects it right in front of his nose. So wonderful over by Haris again.
And I'm sure the Gladiators camp will be pleased with the score. 36 runs in the power play, no wickets. So the asking rate is already gone up 10, a little over 10. So that's the kind of bowling discipline Gladiators need. Now they can spread the field and let the Knight Riders take their chances. They still haven't brought in any of the spinners. Gaurav, Madhu, Prayag. They're going to continue with Charat, so conceded 2 boundaries, but that was in power play. Now the field is already spread. They've got a long on, deep square leg, mid-wicket, deep extra cover, and a long off. So the 4 players inside the circle, a short fine leg, point, cover, and short third man. So let's see what Majid does. He seems to be a bit frustrated with himself. He's not a calm character by any means. He's always trying to be eventful with every ball as Charat comes in, and that's a good line. Targeting the stumps and nothing Majid can do.
And although it's not been easy going for the youngster, I still wonder why he doesn't want to keep his shape. He's just moving around a little too much. There you go again, stepping down. That was if it was a clean collection by Karthik, that was an easy stumping in my opinion. So going back to the same point, we're really wondering why the youngster has to step down or step away from the stumps. He's trying a number of things and none of them have worked so far. He might be better off sticking to the basics, keeping his shape and playing through the line of the ball. And he does that again. Shuffles in, walks towards the off stump. Almost a slog sweep. Misses it completely, and it's smart move by Sidesh to bring the keeper up to the stumps. Although Karthik has taken the blow, it stung his fingers, but he's back in his position. The Gladiators are smelling blood.
Again, a good line by Charat, a very good over. Nothing Majid can do, and he seems to be extremely frustrated. Takes it helmet off, gives it to the leg umpire, and that's not the kind of batting and composure he needs to have. Just need to relax and the runs will come. And we have Ahmed Butt who wants to share his thoughts about this game, or maybe something else. Again, that's driven straight to long on, a bit of misfielding, bad bounce, hits Srini on the chest and the batsman score.
So, Mr. Ahmed Butt, first of all, thank you for coming into the commentary box. You've played a lot with Majid Zubair. We'll come back to you after this ball. And he tries the reverse flick this time, misses again. So, Butt Saab, the question we were going to ask you is, he's an 18-year-old, tremendously talented, but have you ever seen him put into this kind of a situation in a high-stakes game where he's really having to dig deep and find some concentration and really having to prove himself?
Yes, we all saw him on F40 finals day, which he played, excellent, played an excellent innings. Today it's a different ball game altogether. I think the key will be to drop the ball for singles and have Sunny Suhal take the lead on this one. Lots of nervous energy by Majid, which going to put pressure on Sunny Suhal as well. I think the key will be today to keep the nerves calm and let Sunny Suhal, play most of the balls, because Majid is trying too hard. I feel that if he does that, Knight Riders would have a better chance scoring runs consistently.
I think the key that Majid is missing, he needs to stick to basic cricket, just rotate the strike. He's trying too many things. He's tried the paddle scoop, he's tried the reverse sweep, he's tried to shuffle across and hit it over mid-wicket. He's tried to give himself room and slap it over offside, so not the kind of batting that the Knight Riders need at this point. All he needs to do is just stay there for his team, rotate the strike, and give support to the more experienced Sunny Sohal, and the target on Katy West 178 is not a challenging task, but credit to the Gladiators bowling. They're bowling a very disciplined line. Very impressed with the last over by Charat, and Saurabh bowled really good 2 overs, and Harish Latif 3 over spell. So that's the kind of bowling that Gladiators need to restrict the Knight Riders. And bowling change, Harish has been taken off, and Prayag Bhatti comes in. He bowls his leg spinners, the flatter ones, and this time he just tucks it towards square leg. Do they want to? Yes. No. And is that a run out? It is a run out. Too many yes, wait and no's, and that results in Majid Zubair losing his wicket. Gone. Run out. He's not happy. No batsman is ever happy with a run out anyways. And in comes the danger man Bonner.
Yeah, this is going to be a big wicket. Yeah, because things have been really slow for the Knight Riders. It's been a labored effort so far. Sunny has looked in good flow. He's played some good strokes, but yeah, overall I think they're way behind. They're falling behind the required rate, and Bonner is one guy who can turn this game on its head. The Gladiators at this moment in time would be feeling pretty confident about their bowling effort so far in this innings.
Good delivery by Prayag Bhatti, targeting the stumps. Bonner just watchfully defends it back to the bowler, and asking rate has already gone up over 10. Here's Prayag again, and then he's bowling a good line here, not giving any room, not dropping it short. And Bonner just got in as a result of a run out of Majid Zubair, and this time flicks it, and Madhu's the fielder at fine leg, but the square leg. Neeraj Dheer gets to the ball first and restricts the batting to a single, brings back Sunny Sohal on strike. In outside the leg stump and tries to flick it, misses the ball, called a wide by umpire Brown.
Nicely played. Back to the bowler. Good stop by the bowler. Himani bhai, I think this is the pair where needs to finish the innings, finish the game for the Knight Riders. These are more experienced players, and they've been doing it for Knight Riders for almost all throughout the tournament.
And that's again a very good over by Prayag Bhatti, not giving any runs, got the wicket of Majid Zubair, who was having a rough time in the middle. And let's see if they will continue with Charat or bring someone new. Seems like Charat will continue. He played a really good over.
And that's been taken by Sushil Natkani. And that is a huge wicket. It's a big wicket of Bonner. He just came in and he goes for a big hit and skies it to Sushil at point. And Sushil settles under the catch and manages to take it pretty easily. And I think that leaves a daunting task for the Knight Riders now. Himani bhai, your thoughts?
Does the Gladiators smell blood here? What a disciplined bowling and resulting in wickets. Bonner was trying to hit it over long off, miscues it, went really high, and the senior and most experienced player Sushil Natkani just settles in and takes a very nice comfortable catch. And the Gladiators feel, as they feel they've got the danger man Bonner back in the pavilion. So and in comes the skipper, Knight Riders, Usman Rafiq. So Knight Riders already in trouble. 2 down. Second wicket, Bonner. Dangerman. Back in the pavilion as Charat coming in. He's bowling a really good Ryan Munir. He's a medium pace bowler, doesn't give enough room, targets the stump, bowls length, bowls within his line, and that's the kind of bowling that you need in this format. You don't give enough room, let the batsman commit the mistake, and that's exactly what Bonner did.
Absolutely. I think as the Gladiators came into this game and the news of Jaskaran's injury came out, they wouldn't have thought that Charat coming in as a replacement would have made such a big difference. And he indeed has. Skipper Usman Rafiq on strike, gets an easy freebie on his pads, works it down to deep square leg, and some fancy footwork there from Haris Latif in the outfield. Stops the boundary, keeps it down to 2, and you can really see the excitement in the Gladiators camp. I think that wicket of Bonner has really instilled that confidence in them that this is their game for the taking. The required rate is climbing up. The Knight Riders are up against a serious task, and there is a conference in the middle between Sunny and Usman. I think this pair would really have to take it deep now. They need to add something in the range of 100 runs from here onwards. Again, full, beautifully driven by Usman. The bottom hand comes into play, and that's a misfield by Srini. Although from where we are seeing, even if he stopped that ball, his foot was already outside the boundary, so that was a 4. And Usman has got off to a fluent start. Again, short, slightly wide outside the off stump. Usman cuts it, and a wonderful effort by Gaurav Bajaj at sweeper cover keeps it down to 1. It looked a certain 4, but Gaurav, being the swift mover he is, keeps it down to 1. So Usman looking really good. He made the big difference yesterday as well. This is almost deja vu for the Knight Riders. They were in a similar situation last evening. Slow, laboured start by the openers, but Usman came in and changed things. Beautifully driven by Sunny. He's looking in a zone. Dot ball to end the over. So 3 overs by Charat, and he's been right on the money.
Really good bowling by Charat, just bowling good line length, not doing anything special, making the batsman make the mistakes, and that's exactly what Bonner did. Miscues the shot and a very fine catch by Sushil. And Knight Riders moves on to 50 for 2 in 9 overs. They need another 128 runs in 11 overs. Prayag Bhatti will continue and Usman Rafiq. Good delivery, Usman. Usman was trying to drive that ball, misses it through to the keeper. As Prayag Bhatti comes in. And that's a P! Loud appeal and that's given! Leg before the wicket, Brown thinks about it for a second, raises his fingers, and that's curtains for Usman Rafiq. He's not happy. He stood there for a while and nothing he can do. He has to go back in the pavilion, and that's the end of the third wicket for Knight Riders. LBW Prayag Bhatti. And Majid Rizvi is the new batsman in. So Knight Riders in all kinds of trouble. 50 for 3. Usman Rafiq, Majid Zubair, Bonner, all three back in the pavilion. Now it's up to Sunny Sohal, Majid Rizvi. They've got Araf and Naveen Stewart and Waleed still there to bat as Prayag Bhatti comes in. Again, good delivery, and Majid watchfully defends it back to the bowler. What a lovely spell, what a game he's having. Scored 70 odd runs and then took a vital wicket of Usman. And this time Majid drives it too long on and Sunny wants to, but Majid was just trolling for a single. Again, that's called a wide outside the off stump. Sunny lets it go to the keeper for one extra. That one is cut to point. Is there a single there? Sushil comes to field, and that's a quick single by Sunny. This is a good bowling performance by Prayag, but he's having a really nice game. He scored 70 runs and he took the vital wicket of Usman, and this one is lofted straight up and chase for the long off fielder, gets to the ball, and Majid Rizvi back for 2, and that's the end of a very good over, a successful one for Gladiators halfway through the innings. 10 overs in the books and 10 more over to come here. And we see a bowling change. Charat has been taken off, who's bowled really well. And one more over to go. He should have, in my opinion, finished his spell as he was bowling really well. And they've brought in Madhu, another leg spinner. And still no sight of Gaurav Bajaj. Seems like he's going to come in and bowl 4 overs on the trot to finish off the innings. That's the plan, it seems like, for Knight Riders. 55 for 3 in 10 overs. Usman Rafiq out for 8. Sunny not out 22. Majid Zubair run out for 17. Bonner caught Sushil. Bull Charat for 1. Majid Rizvi 3 runs as Madhu will come in to bowl to Sunny, and that's cut to point. Chase for the fielder. He slips but manages to stop the ball, takes it on his body, and Sunny back comfortably for 2. And that's short deliveries, and I still think that Charat should have continued with his spell as he was rolling a really fine line, not giving enough room to the batsman.
Dropped short by Sunny and goes for a wide. So Himani Bhai, to put things into context, they need about 120 runs of the remaining 59 balls. And in those remaining 10 overs, 2 would be bowled by Saurabh Netrowalkar and 1 by Haris Latif. So that leaves, Haris in fact has bowled out. So I think they'll have to target the spinners. It either has to be Madhu or somebody else, but they need a couple of 20-25 run overs here. And cut by Sunny, straight to Sushil at point, a direct hit, but Sunny makes his ground. Sushil Nakarni patrolling the point region with a direct hit. An interesting point my partner in the commentary box made is that Gaurav Bajaj still hasn't come on to bowl. So it remains to be seen whether Sudesh would want to use his 4 overs or he might want to use medium pace, because that's done the trick so far for them. And Madhu tossing it up, really slowing down the ball. Majid just gets a feel of it, misses it completely. Majid Rizvi, known to chance his arms, he likes to go long on, deep mid-wicket, and he was eyeing that boundary. Misses the ball. And Majid goes again, goes against the turn, manages to slice it. Pass short third man, the fielder gives it a chase, but it goes for 4. So Majid has made his intentions very clear since the moment he came out. He's going for the big hits, which he has to do. If they're looking for Sunny to bat through, the other end has to go. There's no other option right now.
Again, Majid was trying to heave it over mid-wicket. He's missing the ball. Needs to go a little bit straighter with that shot, going against the spin. And if he tries to target the long on, long off area, he probably will be more successful with that shot. And that's the end of Madhu's over.
Yeah, I think although it's a very strong batting lineup, but the situation most of these batsmen are walking into is a required rate of in excess of 12. So the likes of Bonner, he came in and he tried to clear the boundary. The second ball he faced, only managed to sky it up. So the point I'm trying to make is there isn't any time for the batsmen to get themselves in. They have to go. Sunny cuts it. Sushil again fields it at point. There's 3 fielders, it seems, behind point, with Srini at third man, Sudesh is at backward point, and Sushil at point. So definite line of attack is outside the off stump. Now Sidhesh is being moved out of point and he's coming to mid-wicket, obviously so because it's Majid Rizvi who's on strike. Regardless of where you're bowling, Majid is going to eye that cow corner deep mid-wicket boundary.
Yeah, another 116 runs in 9 overs for Knight Riders. The task is becoming more and more trickier and challenging. The asking rate keeps going up as Prayag Bhatti comes in. Majid shuffles, hits it, and straight to the mid-wicket fielder where Sidhesh had just moved in, wasn't able to throw back to the bowler in time, and they quickly scamper for a single. And Sidhesh running back to his position towards point, and very impressed with Sushil's fielding. He's like an old wine. The older it gets, the better it tastes. Took a very fine catch, and he's been very energetic and athletic, and point is supposed to be a key position where your best fielder fields, and Sushil is that fielder today. He's stopped some good hard hit balls, taken a very key catch, and again Prayag bowling a good line. Nothing the batsman can do. Sunny's playing a sensible knock. He's not taking any chances. He wants to take this game all the way to the end because he likes to see how much closer can his team get to the target and then take his chances. Prayag comes in and Majid lofts that ball, and that's going to clear the boundary mid-wicket for a 6. Tossed up by Prayag Bhatti and in Majid's arc, and just heaves it over mid-wicket for a 6. And that's what Majid is out there to do. He's there to hit a few boundaries, give some quick runs for his teams, and then make the target easier for the remaining batsmen to come. And that's the line that Prayag needs to avoid bowling to Majid.
Yeah, I think they cannot bowl to his strength and just hope that he'll hold out to one of the fielders in the deep. He just won't. And he intelligently works this one for a single, so that's smart cricket by these batsmen. The last ball went for a 6 and then they rotate the strike. So coming back to Majid, he's one of the strongest hitter of the cricket ball in this league. And if it's pitched up to him, it is going to travel. So your best route, wide down the leg side. So your best route against Majid is to make him play as much as possible on the offside. Prayag again. And worked by Sunny. They would want to come back for a second, and Majid is taking off. There's no stopping him. He goes to the batsman end, and Sunny makes it comfortably, although not the most accurate of throws there. The 12th over comes to an end.
And I believe the score is 75 for 3 at the end of 12 overs. Still need 104 runs in 8 overs. The target 76 for 3 at the end of 12 overs. 103 more to go in 8 overs, and they need some big hitting from Majid. And still no Gaurav Bajaj. And if Sidhesh has any plans to bowl Gaurav Bajaj's spell, he has to come in the next over, and I feel like that's what Sidhesh is planning to do. This will be the 13th over coming up, and Madhu will continue, and Majid will be looking to hit that on the onside towards mid-wicket, square leg, long on area, and Madhu needs to avoid giving him those tossed up deliveries, try to go as far as he can from the... Again, that's gone for a 6, and that's the kind of line that Gladiators need to avoid. Flight it up, and Majid just shuffles across and puts it over mid-wicket for a 6. A very good start for Knight Riders. First ball boundary for a 6 maximum. through the cover. A very good shot by Sunny Sohal, and that's gonna go for a 4. Effortless, just plays with the spin. Offs it. That's a good line from Madhu. Again, will that be a catch? And no, and good effort by Neeraj Dev. He just stopped the ball. And Sunny back for 2.
So 2 totally different approaches and styles of batting. Sunny going with the turn, preferring to go inside out, over covers. Majid does not care which way it's turning. It has to go deep mid-wicket and cow corner. But both effective in their own way. And the stars have started to arrive. The likes of Roy Silva, Taha Sayed, Amir, the captain, they're all coming in now. Shaheen Jahangir. And they would be eager to know who their opponent would be in the Grand Championship final today. Let's have the Stars captain Amir come into the dugout for a little bit. So Amir, great win for you guys yesterday, straight into the finals. Which of these teams would you prefer to face now?
Thank you very much for yesterday, and I don't mind. I'm getting ready for both teams. Doesn't matter who win. I have a plan for both teams.
Does it affect you that Knight Riders are the only teams who have beaten you so far in this tournament, and you've done the double on Gladiators?
I don't think so, because I'm very confident, because after first game we are come back very good, and I think that day, that only first game we have a very bad day, and I'm so happy for after that.
Alright guys, so wish you all the best for the big championship final. Let's watch how this game pans out. We're getting towards the final few overs of the game. And I think finally, like Himani Bhai had been anticipating, Gaurav Bajaj comes into the attack. Hamara Bajaj, as they call him. So, and Majid goes for the same thing. This time I don't think he connects it that well. And Saurabh Netrewalkar takes a good catch. And is that the game right there? Majid was one guy who's capable of scoring 20 runs and over. He makes good contact, but it's seen he got more of the toe end of the bat. And that's why the ball did not travel as long as it should have. And that ends Majid Rizvi's little stay at the innings. Effective though, but probably not doing enough.
That's a big blow for Knight Riders, and they need boundaries, and Majid was exactly trying to do that for his team. He hit 2 sixes in his short cameo, and then he's gone back to the pavilion as another hard-hitting batsman, Naveen Stewart, walks in. Knight Riders still require 88 more runs to go, and this is the 14th over in progress. They need 88 more runs in 6.5 overs, and Gaurav Bajaj starting his spell as we all anticipated. He's going to come in and end the innings with his 4 overs on the trot, and this is the 14th over. First ball gets the wicket of Majid Rizvi, and Naveen Stewart. Can he hit some big blows? Because After him, you've got Waleed Ahmed and Araf still, and Raheem as well. As Bajaj comes in and cuts, and good effort by the fielder Haris Latif at backward point, and again 3 fielders square. Point is Sushil, there's Srini, and then there's Haris Latif, and 2 in the deep, there's extra cover, and long office. Comes in again, cuts straight, and that's a misfielding by Haris, allowing the batsman to cross for a single, and brings back Naveen Stewart on strike. Good over so far for Gaurav Bajaj, just a single and a wicket. 92 for 4 Knight Riders. Field adjustment in place for Naveen. Similar field placement as for Majid Rizvi, as they both Majid and Naveen tries to hit these big shots on the onside as Gaurav comes in. Good delivery and just defended straight to the cover where Madhu was deep on the circle, so allowing the batsman to take a single. And that's cut straight to point again, and Haris Latif, both Haris and Sushil switched their positions. This time it went to Haris again at point. So a very good over in progress by Gaurav Bajaj. Just 2 singles and a wicket, 2 dot balls. He comes, last ball of his over. Cuts it again, good effort by Haris. So good over for Knight Riders, just the 2 runs and a wicket. So end of the 14th over, Knight Riders 93 for 4.
So like it was anticipated, Saurabh Netrawalkar would come in towards the death overs, and I wonder if he was being saved when the likes of Naveen Stewart, the big hitter, comes in. So they've definitely taken off the spinner from the attack. So Saurabh Netrawalkar, the USA national team opening pace bowler and India under 19, former India under 19 I must say, comes into the attack. He's not 19 anymore though. He's bowling to Naveen Stewart. And he goes slightly short. Naveen, using his wrist brilliantly, works it to deep square leg. And it's interesting, that is a disaster indeed. That was 2 runs all day long. You wonder what was going on there. That certainly is a huge disaster for the Knight Riders. Why was Naveen stranded on the other end, and there was no communication between the batsmen? They're falling down like a pack of cards now. What's going on with the Knight Riders? The batsmen are still confronting each other. Huge confusion between them. Now it seems Waleed Ahmed is coming in to replace the outgoing Naveen Stewart. Knight Riders were really relying on Naveen Stewart to come in and deliver some hefty blows. That has not happened for them. It's interesting how this game has panned out. The twists and turns the Houston Premier League 2018 has had in store. The surprises don't seem to end. The strongest batting lineup in the competition is really up against a daunting task, and they've lost their major trump cards. They're all back in the hut. Waleed Ahmed now comes in.
And that's not looking good for Knight Riders here. Unfortunate run out. It was 2 runs all the way. Not sure what these two were thinking, and a bit of confusion in the middle, and a very good throw by the fielder in the deep. 1 bounce to the keeper, and batsman was short by a few yards. So Saurabh will be bowling to Waleed Ahmed now. And Waleed leaves it through to the keeper. He needs to be told immediately that he's not opening the innings. We've got Neeraj Dheer here standing at long off. He was awarded the best bowler in T20 and is yet to bowl in this tournament. Again, good delivery by Saurabh. Waleed drives it. Bit of run for the long on fielder, but Siddesh was quick to get to the ball. Just a single. So Waleed off the mark, and all responsibility now on Sunny Sohal's shoulder. Can they bounce back from this? $95 for 5, 15th over. And that's cut over point, over Sushil's head for a 4. Brilliant shot there by Sunny Sohal. He's been the mainstay of the Gladiators, the Knight Riders innings. He's played a composed knock, and that's the kind of batting that we said all along that Knight Riders need to achieve this target, but he's there. On 42, and Knight Rider moves on to 99. 99 for 5. This is the 15th over.
In comes Saurabh again to Sunny. Full and straight, a low full toss. Sunny plays it to long off. Waleed is coming back to the second. Hopefully there's no more disaster for the Knight Riders. Opportunity for a third. And that's the 100 up. They've gone on to 101 for 5. So, although Sunny has been a mainstay and he has held, I cannot say he's held this innings together, but he's held one end at his end. But the problem now is that the question they need to ask themselves is whether this required rate is even out of the reach of Sunny Sohal. It's been climbing up tremendously, and after this there are just 5 overs to go. And they would be looking at somewhere around 65 runs in the last 5 overs. 75, my apologies. They're chasing 178, 179 in fact. So, Sunny back on strike to Saurabh. Neeraj Dheer at long off, Siddesh at long on. Beautifully played by Sunny. That was intentional, that wasn't a nick. The ball took off from just short of good length, and he glides it past the diving wicketkeeper, inches from his gloves, and it goes for a 4. So all expectations on the shoulders of Sunny, and mind you, Waleed Ahmed is no gimmick with the bat. So this pair would really have to take it deep towards the 18th, 19th, or even the 20th over. Araf is in next. Slower one from Saurabh, rolls his fingers, an off cutter, and Sunny picks it up from the hand, glides it to point where Madhu does the fielding. So end of the over, a single there, 106 in 15 overs now for the loss of 5 wickets.
Score moves on to 107 for 5. They need another 72 runs. Last 5 overs. Sunny Soul still out there. On 49, just 1 run shy of his 50. Waleed out there at 1. So last 5 overs, 72 runs. That's over 15 runs per over, and that's a big chase. And Gaurav Bajaj still has 2 more overs to bowl, and then Saurabh has 1 more over to go. So
Sunny not out on 49. And he comes down the track, and has he sliced it? Is cover going to make it? Lands in no man territory between 3 converging fielders, and that's the 50 for Sunny Sohal. Moves on to 51. But I think his work is not even half done here if the Knight Riders have to have any chance to win this eliminator. And short, and he tries to pull it. I think that was a freebie that he missed out on. A leg bye to third man. In fact, a bye given. It did not even strike his pad, it seems. We thought he flicked his trousers. So that brings Waleed back on strike. Now the owner of a prestigious Fanoosh restaurant in Sugarland, burger plus biryani. What does Waleed have against Gaurav Bajaj now? So Gaurav adding a fielder to mid-wicket. There's obviously a huge gap. An easy opportunity to knock the ball in the gap and come back for 2. So they're plucking that gap for Waleed. But I think those 1s and 2s won't matter now. It has to be 6s and 4s. Tossed up, and Waleed swings it, and it was straight to the man that was brought in. It was well read by Gaurav, but I think that would count as a catch in such a clash. So Haris misses out. A single now brings Sunny Sohal back on strike.
yeah, Knight Riders trying really hard to hit boundaries, and Gaurav Bajaj bowling a very good line. Just 4 runs of this over, first 3 balls, and they need over 15 runs per over. So every over they score under 15, the asking rate keeps going up. As Gaurav continues, that's hit high and over long off, sails over the sponsor banners for a 6, and that's the kind of batting that Knight Riders need. Tossed up, and Sunny saw the flight and just times it just over long off for a 6, and that's a good shot by Sunny Sohal. Runs so far in this over, first 4 balls. Score moves on to 117. This is the 16th over. This thing hit high, it's gonna clear again, the mid-wicket boundary this time. Another 6 by Sunny Sohal. He's putting a display, he's out there, he wants to win this game. 2 big 6s. 16 runs of this over so far. 1 more ball to go.
So, yes, given that they have the cushion of about 70 runs with not a lot of balls to go, they still need to ask the question whether they can keep tossing it up to Sunny and just hope that he'll hold out in the boundary somewhere. I think it might be an option worth considering for Gladiators to just go for containing them. Let the required rate climb up. Let it go towards 20 runs per over. Let's see if Gaurav is going to toss this one up as well, or he'll just go for the quick, flatter ball now.
Last ball coming up, hit straight to point. Is there a chance for run out? No, Waleed quick. He gets back, and so end of a very good over for Knight Riders. 17 runs. The score moves on to 124 for 5 at the end of 16 overs. They need another 55 runs in 24 balls. 4 more overs. 55 runs, and now if they can get another over or two like the one they just had, and they will be in striking distance. And of course, Sunny Sohal needs to be out there, because if they lose this wicket, then I'm not sure if they have enough batting depth remaining to score. And Saurabh just taken off after 1 over. He still has 1 more to go, and then an interesting bowling change. Charat coming back for his last over. Prayag Bhatti still has 1 more over. Haris 1 more over, and Charat coming in to bowl his last over. That's Prayag Bhatti, my bad. So Charat is not. It's Prayag Bhatti coming in, bowling in to finish his spell, and then they need boundaries. Similar over as what the Knight Riders did. Here comes Prayag, and that's a peel, and that's gone, given. No hesitation on umpire's part. It was straight a delivery, kept a little low, and hit him right in front of the stumps, and that's the end of a very good knock for Sunny Sohal. Back in the pavilion, and that puts a serious dent in Knight Riders' hopes for winning this game. Sunny Sohal gave them a glimmer of hope in the last over, hit 2 big sixes. He's back in the pavilion, and certainly the man of the match from US Gladiators, scored 80 runs and took 2 wickets, 2 US national wickets. Usman Rafiq, LBW, and now Sunny Sohal, LBW. And in comes the youngster Araf. $55 runs needed in 23 balls. Prayag Bhatti, 2 crucial wickets, 2 LBWs. Usman and Sunny comes in, bowls to Araf, and Araf just hits it towards the mid-wicket area. They want to come back for 2. Both batsmen quick between the wickets, and they easily score a couple of runs. So 126 for 6 now. Prayag comes in, bowls to Araf. And Araf sweeps that, and sweeps it high over deep square leg for a 6. And this youngster is certainly capable of hitting these big shots. And that's gone for a mighty 6.
And I was surprised by the relative ease with which Araf hit that 6. Almost lazy elegance in the way he played that shot. We were really surprised by the way the ball sailed for almost 90 plus meters. So a talented youngster now here, facing Ranji player from India, Prayag Bhatti. And he goes again, but this is straight to Neeraj Dheer. He'll cut it off, keep it down to 2. And Waleed comes back to complete the 2nd run. Lots of cheers coming in from the Knight Riders camp. They're looking for someone to step in and be the hero for their camp. Short ball. Pushes it through, and Araf is looking to come down the track. Misses out. Results in a dot ball now.
Again, this ball hit to deep mid-wicket. Saurabh, the fielder, just a single. So, end of a very good over for Gladiators. They got their man, Sunny Sohal. Knight Riders still fighting. 11 runs coming off of this over. So, 135 for 6. The end of the 17th over. 3 more overs to go. And they need another 44 runs in 18 deliveries. 44 in 18 deliveries. 17 down, 3 more overs to go. We know there will be an over coming for Saurabh. One from Haris, and I think Haris is the man who's been given the ball to come into bowl. 1 over from Haris, 1 over from Saurabh, and then 1 from either Sai or even Gaurav Bajaj.
Because looking at the stats, Sai has bowled 3 overs for 19 runs and picking up a wicket. So he'll be one of the contenders. In fact, it's Charith who's showing up as Sai in the scorecard. So that 3rd over is going to be between Charith and Gaurav Bajaj. But Haris and Saurabh are definitely bowling 1 each. Nice tight line in length outside the off stump. Araf clears his front foot, misses out. Might as well qualify as a half volley. So that's something he definitely misses out on. Waleed walks up to the youngster with possibly an earful of instructions. So, just to clarify, we'll come back to this after the ball. Very nice in-swinging Yorker, dipping late into Araf. He works it to long on for a single. So, just to clarify, the noises my camera picks up from the surroundings of the commentary box, the organizers are not responsible for the comments made. So, no offense is taken, no offense is intended from anyone.
These noises are coming from the real Texas olden goldies of Jam, Nanda, Bari.
Too many backstands already. Other people gonna hit us.
Waleed facing Haris. And he hits it high and crosses the cover. Siddesh, after it, didn't really quite connect the ball. Even he got a nearer blade and they comfortably crossed back for 2. So Waleed certainly capable of hitting big hits. Didn't get a lot of chance in this tournament to bat, so it's always difficult to come in and start hitting 6s and 4s when your team needs boundaries. 138. Again, very good delivery by Haris Latif, and Waleed wasn't able to do much.
The way that Yorker hit the toe of that bat, we might need a new one pretty soon as well. Almost heard the splice coming off all the way in the commentary box here, but Waleed needs to go now. Is there a big shot coming? He's eyeing the straight boundary. And he misses out. And Karthik not even aware that the batsmen were coming through for a single. And that's an easy bye taken. So lack of awareness from the wicketkeeper. But Madhu, being a senior player, comes up and acknowledges the good work from the keeper. He's been top-notch in the field today, taking nothing away from Karthik. But this has been a good over from Haris Latif. He's been right on the money, giving nothing away, full and straight. So Araf now on strike to Haris. This is almost going out of the reach of the Knight Riders. And nicely played. Will they come back for a second? In fact, that's unlucky for Araf. The ball goes straight back onto the stumps.
Somebody trying to get him out too. मेरा तो कुछ हो नहीं रहा उसको भी आउट करा दे.
And Waleed attempting the second run was almost like deja vu. Reference to a game from last week between Cobras and Knight Riders where we had so much drama on the last ball. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable and exciting Houston Premier League so far. Some very competitive games played over the 3 weekends.
And Raheem, who's certainly capable of hitting big shots, still waiting for his turn, and feel like it may be too late for him to come out and start hitting these boundaries. Last 2 overs in a very good move by Siddesh, bringing Saurabh in so that if he can restrict the batsman, the last over would be a very challenging one. They need another 39 runs in 12 deliveries, 12 balls and 39 runs, so almost 20 runs per over is needed. It's doable in this format, but they have to score 20 plus runs in this over. As Saurabh comes in, and that's hit high, effortless by Arab, and that's gone for a 6. Saurabh just pitching it up, and Arab very strong on his toes, just effortlessly clips it, times it over mid-wicket for a 6, and that's a good start to this over by Arab. 6 runs, 146. Is that gone for another 6? And yes, it is. This time on the offside over cover. 2 sixes to Saurabh Netravalkar. That's 150 up for Knight Riders. 152. 27 more runs to go. It was 39 and now 27 more runs, and crowd excited on their toes. And Saurabh coming round the wicket now. What's he gonna do? This time hits to square leg. They want a single. Will coming back for the second, and that was just a single and an error in the field by Haris Latif, allowing the batsman, puts Araf back on strike with 2 runs, so 154. They need another 25 runs in 9 balls. Runs in 9 balls. Can Araf hit him one more time? This time hits it! Hits it! Another one! Over point for a 6! What an innings by this youngster Araf Saqib. 3 sixes to the US national fast bowler Saurabh Netravalkar. Araf on 33, just of 11 deliveries. Knight Riders back in this game, and if Araf can stay there, this is certainly doable. That was again a big 6. He's clearing the ropes by a distance. 8 more balls to go. 19 runs. Saurabh deciding to go back over the wicket. 2 more balls, 8 deliveries, 19 runs. And this time hits it on the pads. He was trying to hit it leg by, so 7 balls, 18 runs. And if Knight Riders can hit a boundary in this delivery, the target becomes more easier. 7 balls, 18 runs. Saurabh Netravalkar getting hit for big 6s, 3 of them by young Araf Saqib. And that's gone over the head. Bouncer misses everything, misses the keeper. That's called a wide and a 4. 5 runs, so poor bowling by Saurabh here. 13 runs now of 7 balls.
Waleed opting to not wear the helmet against a US national team fast bowler, opening fast bowler, and that definitely was the invitation for Saurabh to go for some chin music, but I think he uses too much off his back, really gets high bounce. And Waleed swings, has it carried to third man? No, I think the effort should have been to try and come back for the second to put Araf on strike, because that is the end of the over. I think you really would have wanted for Waleed to push for the second, come to the danger end so that Araf is on strike in the next over. This is really going down to the wire, to the very last 6 balls of the game. It's anybody's game to take.
So last 6 balls, discussion going on between Sushil, Siddesh, who's going to come in and bowl the last over, and I think it's going to be Gaurav Bajaj. And that's a bold move by Gladiators. They still have an over left from Charat. .167. Gaurav Bajaj. What just happened in the last over? Gaurav coming in to bowl to Waleed. Man, again, this one is it gonna go for a bye? 4? No, I think Srini will make it. And he hit the throw, and that's a wide. So that's an extra delivery and 3 singles. So 4 runs. They ran 3, and that should have been collected by the wicket keeper. So 4 runs already scored without being a ball bowled. So 8 more runs in 6 balls, and that's just easy target. Night Riders. Wow, that's a good delivery. A dot ball. Araf is trying to hit him over mid-wicket. Misses the line through to the keeper. So 5 balls, 8 runs. This one is hit high. And it's clearing the boundary for a 4. So just 4 runs needed of 4 balls, and Araf Saqib playing a blinder here. And four runs, 4 balls. This thing is hit straight to the deep fielder, and then just a single there. So 3 of 3. what at one point seemed like an unlikely target. Iraf made it look so much easier. And that's a wide, and again Gaurav was trying to go wide because Waleed is shuffling, and Waleed just smartly lets it go to the keeper. So 2 runs of 3 balls, and man of the moment Iraf Saqib at the non-striker's end. This time he hits it. Oh, that's a shy at the non-striker's end because Gaurav fielded that ball. Had that hit the stump, would have been run out. So 2 runs in 2 balls. All they need is just the singles. Are we going to see a super over? My partner here doesn't agree. Field coming in, the deep cover fielders in, square leg back in, long on in, long off in. So as Gaurav comes in, this time they cut it, go for a quick single, and again, that's a win. 1 run needed, and that was a victory. And that's all Iraf Saqib. What an inning, what a game, all done for Gladiators. They're out of this tournament. Knight Riders in the finals against Houston Stars. What have we seriously witnessed here today? It's been simply unbelievable. The audience, everyone here in attendance gave this game away to the Gladiators. No one gave them a chance. I think at the time when they lost the quick wickets of Sunny Sohal, Usman Rafiq. Now, what trick is Ahmed Butt pulling off now? I mean, this has been simply unbelievable. We haven't seen anything quite like this in quite some time.
I told Batsab and Carol we have both the teams, and Chief Guest comes and meets everyone.
And who's throwing credit? You know something good.
Let me grab some salsa, chips, whatever.
Bobby, that was a bad decision against Osman. Man, he was on the middle. Why did he give him out? Bad.
Yeah, finish the puffs. I told you I live some puffs.
I haven't eaten a single thing from them.
Alright, the white ball is here for a guy. If they move over, basically what that does is it expands the zone a little bit. That don't mean you can't call wide because you go over here and still fail. But the ball that the last over there I call a white for. The ball was almost on pitch.
Oh, okay. So why was he on it?
Because he said he moved all the way over.
Of course. Alright, so I gotta say.
Adam gonna get the team list.
They won. They needed 10 off 4. They needed 5 off the last ball. They didn't try to get a 6. Bro, did this go? Did this go? No, they needed 5 off 1 ball. It was a flat 6 too. I think it was like
15.
वाईफाई नहीं मिल रहा है वहाँ डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया
What happened? The other guy was.
यार मैंने ग्लासेस मंगवाया था, गाय तोड़ दी मेरे ग्लासेस गुम ही हो गए यार, मैं लाल करनी ओके मैं तोड़ दिया ग्लास आपने यार केडी 200 रुपये में ग्लासेस यार, दूसरे ग्लासेस दो यार मेरे वक्त का क्या करता है ये होगा ये भेज देता जाके रेडी हो गया ले जाए हमारा नहीं
तक आना बैट वापस पड़े दिखा ठीक है बंद कर दो बंद कर so I'm gonna go I'm gonna be back in an hour okay I'll be back in an hour yes I'm gonna make them I'm gonna get gas as well I have to pick up my glasses yeah